Welcome. So my name is Monica, if you're not someone that I know. So quarantine. I feel just aware of how much I miss regularity and patterns and cycles. So I think before quarantine, our daily lives can feel sort of boring or rushed or unexciting or unappealing just because they're so regular and they go day after day after day. But now we're in a period with fewer cycles, much less regularity. So for me, I haven't wanted anything fancy or exciting. I'm not interested in novelty anymore right now, or flair, or anything kind of over the top. I've just been looking for stability, comfort, and returning to my breath. So that's what I'll invite you to do today. So we'll return to our breath over and over throughout class. We'll have a fairly simple sequence with also some abdominal strengthening so that we can all pull to center and stay strong. And hopefully that sounds like a plan. So take a comfortable seat. You can sit in any position that feels comfortable for you. So maybe cross-legged or even seated hero's pose. Just take a seat that will allow you to find stability and comfort. As you're ready, you can close your eyes or soften your gaze. And just become aware of your breath. Maybe you want to bring your hand or one hand to your body to connect with any sensation. Take your time here to just settle and ground. Feel your sit bones pressing down, crown of the head lifting as you settle down into your mat and get a little taller. Notice how you're breathing and maybe invite yourself to breathe a little more deeply or fully. Maybe just inviting yourself 2 or 3% towards a breath that will sustain you throughout your day. Keep grounding down and getting taller here. Finding yourself held between heaven and earth, we would say in Chinese medicine. The above and the below. Feel yourself rooted on the ground and also lifting, maybe towards something greater than yourself. If you'd like to take a pranayama, a breathing exercise with me, today we'll take 3-part breath. So that will be an inhale into the belly, a hold, inhale to the ribs, hold, and then inhaling to the roof of the mouth, hold, and exhale, we'll let it all go. As you're ready, please exhale. Inhale to the belly, hold, inhale to the ribs, hold, inhale to the roof of the mouth, hold, and exhale, let it all go. Inhale to the belly, hold, inhale to the ribs, hold, inhale to the roof of the mouth, hold, and exhale to let it all go. Try that again with your own breath. Maybe to get 2 more rounds. Just noticing what it's like to suspend the breath here. To begin to delay the cycle with the hold, which might bring you into greater awareness of your breath as a whole. As you've completed that, you can return to your regular breath, maybe noticing any shifts if they've occurred, any changes. Ground down through your sit bones and lift through the crown of your head one more time. And on your next inhale, you can let that all go. Please raise your right hand up to the sky, pull up on those fingertips so you get so long along the side of the body. Take your left fingertips straight out from your hip. And then on your next inhale, windmill over to your left, coming into a side bend. Feel for what your preference is here. Maybe you want to open heart towards the sky, or maybe you truly want to descend, bending that bottom elbow. Regardless of where you've decided to go, feel for rooting down into both sit bones, not letting that right sit bone get light. Maybe you drop your head and your neck. We'll take 2 more breaths here. Feeling for how steady and smooth your breath can be. On your next inhale, come back up through center, lift both arms. Drop those right fingertips straight off to the right. Lift up through the left arm and then side bend over to your right. Again, feel for left sit bone anchoring as much as the right. Maybe you tilt your heart to the sky, or maybe you come into a true side bend, making more space in the side of your lungs, just allowing yourself to descend towards the ground, even as you stay anchored here. Feel free to drop your head or your neck. Find more space to breathe into the lungs. Take 1 more breath here. And on your next inhale, come back up, reach up, root down, and then release both arms. Please lift your right arm up to the sky, bend that elbow, reach left arm around, grab onto that elbow. As you inhale, pull low ribs and low belly back, engage the torso, and then exhale, pull that elbow over towards the midline. If your elbow moves super easily, you may have mobile shoulders. You might get more stretch just sending that elbow back into the hand. If it's really tight to pull that elbow over, you can focus on pulling that elbow towards the midline. Sit back into yourself. Maybe back of the head moves back into that arm. Take 1 more breath in. As you exhale, release. We'll switch sides. So lift that left arm up to the sky, bend that elbow, reach around with that opposite hand for the elbow. Inhale to root down. Exhale, pull that left elbow towards the midline. Again, if it's super, super easy to move it, maybe you get more stretch in the outer shoulder by sending that elbow into the palm. To find the place where the stretch feels reasonable to you, send low ribs, low belly, back of the head back. Take 2 more breaths here, feeling for how steady you can be as you find this mobility through the shoulders. On your next inhale, release. If you're in a cross-legged seat, switch the cross of your legs. Settle back down into your sit bones. This is probably your unfamiliar cross. You can bring your hands to your lap and drop your right ear to your right shoulder. Pick up your right hand and then reach around for the opposite side of your head with your palm. You're not pushing the head, you're simply using the weight of your palm to encourage that right ear towards the right shoulder. Pull low ribs, low belly back, sit back into yourself, back into your breath. Maybe you tilt your chin just a smidge to find that ultimate stretch along the fibers of your neck. Sit down into your sit bones, maybe even get your spine a little longer. Take one more breath here. And on your next inhale, release, and we'll switch sides. So lift that left arm up to the sky. Drop that left ear towards left shoulder. Hand comes to the side of the head. Again, not forcing the head down, just encouraging a little bit of weight there. You can drop your chin towards your chest, finding that stretch along the right side fibers of the neck. Pull low ribs, low belly back, even sending back of the head back. How can you find the support here to really rest back, even in this perhaps intense neck stretch? Take one more breath here. As you're ready, release. Come back through center and clasp your hands in front of your heart. Now unclasp your hands so that you're clasped and then reclasped in the unfamiliar way, the one that's not your tendency. Bring your hands toward, but not to your heart. On your next inhale, swim your right elbow back behind you and then bring it back around. Then swim left elbow back behind you, bring it back around. You should feel a stretch, keep alternating sides along the back of the heart, between the shoulder blades. This is actually a Qigong Chinese medicine move for opening up the back of the heart space. So just feel for slowly swimming back, one elbow at a time. You might even feel this up into your neck. We'll take a few more rounds. And the next time you complete your right side, you can release and come back to center. Uncross your legs and we'll meet up in tabletop, hands and knees. We're moving straight into cat-cow. So go ahead and make sure you have your knees under your hips, wrists under shoulders. Every inhale, you'll drop the belly, lift the gaze. Exhale will take you into this rounded shape, cat. Keep going with your own breath, feeling free to shift the hips side to side, maybe even front to back, maybe even into child's pose for a few breaths. Do what will allow you to steady and support yourself through the breath, making no judgment about what you feel compelled to do today. Wherever you are, continue linking your movement up with your breath. We'll be here for a few more rounds. And the next time you inhale, return to a neutral spine. Tuck the toes if they're not already tucked. Make sure knees are under your hips. And then reach your right leg back behind you. So make sure that you drop the hips so that the pelvis is level. The right hip will try to lift. Choices here. You can either come into knee to nose, or you can reach that left arm out in front of you and come knee to elbow. Your choice. So on your next inhale, lift that knee towards elbow or nose. Exhale it back. As you inhale, knee comes in to either elbow or towards nose. Pull it a little higher and exhale back. As you inhale, how slowly can you move knee in towards nose? Pull it a little bit higher than you thought you could. Exhale back. And do two more with your own breath, slowing it down as much as is reasonable for you. I've got one more. And the next time you send that leg back, send those right toes to the ground. This will be your inhale position. As you exhale, lunge back into that ball of the right foot, feeling for a stretch on the calf. Inhale will bring you back to center. Exhale to lunge it back. Keep moving with this pattern, or maybe open it up a little bit, shifting the hips, rocking the weight, finding out how your particular calf would like to open up. Just taking some time to explore, or maybe just holding the simple rocking back and forth. Okay. Great. As you're ready, lift that leg back up to center, keep the pelvis level, and then put that knee back down on the ground. We'll switch sides. So send that left leg back behind you, drop that left hip so pelvis is level, toes point straight down. Make a choice for your abs. Either extend the right arm or stay right here. It's totally okay to do a different variation. As you inhale, curl knee towards nose or elbow, lift it a little higher. Exhale, send it back. On your inhale, knee towards nose or elbow, smush it up towards your face. Exhale it back. Inhale, come on in. Lift, 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 lift. Feel your abdomen. Exhale it back. And then do 2 more with your own breath. Feeling for how high you can descend that knee. You'll probably notice more juice in your abdomen. As you've completed that, re-extend that left leg, bring toes to the floor. You know what to do. Exhale, lunge back into that left ball of the foot. Inhale will bring you forward. Exhale, go on back. Continue with your own breath, syncing up movement and breathing. Maybe you lift that foot or the hip, rocking to the side, finding out how your calf would like to open today. This side's totally different for me. Maybe it is for you too. Okay. Let's take one more breath here. Then on your next inhale, lift that knee or leg to the sky, replace the knee, tuck the toes, walk your hands, one hand print forward, walk your knees, one knee print back, lift hips to the sky for downward facing dog. Great. In your down dog, maybe you bend the knees deeply to get those hips to the sky. Even here, engage the low belly. See if that gives you more space to move your heart towards your thighs. Legs might stay bent the whole time, or you might start to straighten. Make sure that your knees point straight forward, that you have weight equally in your hands. We'll be here for one more breath. On your next inhale, shift forward into plank pose, knees up or down. We'll hold in plank for a moment. If this is slumping your shoulders, please drop your knees. Pull belly towards spine. Find the strength in your own abdomen. Take one more breath in. As you exhale, lower it all the way down to the mat. Untuck the toes, and then place your palms outside your ribs. The wrist will be under the elbow. Forehead will move towards the floor. Pick up your right leg and rotate the toes in towards the midline. Place that leg back on the floor. Pick up the left leg, rotate those toes in. Place that top of the foot on the floor. This will spin your inner thighs up, which will give you more space for the back bend. As you inhale, press into the hands, tops of the feet, belly towards spine. Lift yourself up into cobra. Engage the glutes. Send your tailbone back behind you. Elbows might try to go wide. Send them back, back, back. Keep pulling that belly towards the spine. This will protect your low back. Any cramping in the low back, send that tailbone behind you. Send shoulder blades down the back. Send back of the head, sides of the throat back. Keep tight through the belly. Let's take 2 more breaths. Go to a place where you can continue to breathe. And on your next exhale, lower down. Choices here, you can press up to hands and knees to transition to low lunge or to down dog. So either hands and knees or down dog. If you're in hands and knees, you'll step that right leg through the hands. If you're in down dog, lift the right leg to the sky, step it through the hands. Everyone will have the back left knee on the ground. From here, we're coming into an open twist. So square your hips towards the front of the mat by pulling that right hip back. Take your left palm a little bit off to the left, maybe a couple inches, and a quarter turn out. Ground down into that left hand, keep pulling the right hip back, and you can lift up to have that right hand on the thigh, or you can lift that right hand to the sky for low lunge. If you're still feeling congested through this left shoulder, you can widen that left hand. Keep pulling that right hip back. Finding space for your breath here. Sending back of the head back, even here, engaging the belly. Take 1 more breath in. And as you exhale, come on down. Bring that front foot, pull that right hip back again, and then maybe walk up to hands and knees, or to your thigh with your hands. Okay. From here, you have choices. So you can come into this nice open back bend, or if you feel like your breath wants a challenge to flow through, take that left elbow outside that right knee, stack the palms, and you'll come into this closed twist. This will necessitate more for the breath as belly twists from left to right. Elbows move towards stacking, keep pulling that right hip back. Feel for how you can inflate the belly even in this twist, or just stay in or return to this nice open low lunge. Do what feels reasonable for your breath today. We'll take 2 more breaths wherever you've landed. And as you inhale, come on down. Place your hands on either side of that foot, and then switch the place of your right hand and right foot. So walk your right foot over to where your right hand is. Place your right hand inside your right foot. From here, tuck your left toes, pick up your left knee, and walk that knee like 1 half or 1 knee print back. From here, stick your tush back behind you. Stick it back, 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 back. And then bend that left knee. Reach around for the outer left foot with your left hand. Coming into this quad stretch. You might already be feeling all the sensations. This may be more than enough for you. Or you can bend back into that front knee. Bring that right hand to the right thigh. Wherever you are, pull low ribs, low belly back. Keep bending into that front knee. Even send back of the head back here as you pull that left heel towards your outer left thigh. Big stretch in the quad. You might also feel it in your inner right thigh. We'll take 2 more breaths. How can you find stability and comfort even here? On your next inhale, slowly release that foot. Come back to hands inside that front foot, right foot, and then come onto your right heel. We'll come into a quad stretch. So you can pull those right toes back, or I'm sorry, a thigh stretch. Pull those right toes back towards your face and sit back. You can bring your left knee so that it's right under that left hip, and then keep flexing those right toes as you find a stretch along the back of that right thigh. If there's any pulling in the knee, bend that right knee a little bit more. Even here, how can you keep pulling the right hip back to engage the stretch more and to get your torso parallel to the front of the mat? We'll take one more breath here. On your next inhale, bend into that right knee. Your choice, you can step to switch, or you can return to downward facing dog. So wherever you've decided to be, either lift that left leg to the sky and step it through the hands, either from down dog or from that tabletop position. Okay, from here, we'll pull that left hip back in space. Right hand will widen a couple inches to the right and turn a quarter turn out. Keep pulling that left hip back as you reach left arm to the sky. If you feel congested in this right shoulder, you can widen that hand off your mat. Back toes can be tucked for more support, or you can untuck for length. Keep pulling that left hip back, low ribs, low belly back. Lean back and head back, even moving that left shoulder back. Find more space for your breath here. More stability, more comfort. For one more breath. On your next inhale, come back to your low lunge. Reach arms to the sky. Maybe you stay right here. Maybe you tuck the toes for more support. Or maybe you hook that right elbow outside the left knee. Stack the palms. Elbows will come to a stack. Pull that left hip back as belly revolves from right to left. Twist, challenge the breath, and give us an opportunity to be really intentional with it. How can you move the breath through, even in this compressed shape? Or maybe today that's more than you need, and you just come up into this open back bend, feeling how you can breathe into the pelvis, into the sides of the lungs. You decide where you would like to be for 2 more breaths. On your next inhale, unwind, bring your hands down to the mat, switch that left foot and left hand, setting up for the quad stretch. Pick up that right knee, tuck the toes if they're not already tucked, and walk that right knee just 1 or 1/2 of the knee print back. This just keeps you off your kneecap. Send your tush back behind you, bend that right knee, reach around for the right outer foot with that right hand. Stay right here. There might be more than enough happening. Or climb onto that front thigh, maybe even bringing elbow there. Maybe bringing the hand. I always think the elbow is like business casual yoga. Keep pulling that right heel in towards the right hip. Pull low ribs, low belly back, then back of the head back. Be a little more upright. We'll take 2 more breaths here. And as you're ready, slowly release that hand and foot. And then we'll set up for the hamstring stretch. To bring the left toes towards you, left heel digs into the ground. You can walk that right knee back so that that right leg is straight up and down. And then come up onto fingertips, pulling those toes back towards your face. You'll feel a strong stretch along the back of that left thigh. Your straight front left leg might look relatively straight like mine. Make sure there's no pulling behind the back of that left knee. Even here, pull low ribs, low belly back. Give yourself more space for the torso. Keep flexing those toes towards your face to protect the knee. Keep pulling that left hip back to square the hips even here. Take one more breath in. As you exhale, we'll come back to the ground. And then let's all meet back up and downward facing dog. From down dog, catch your breath. Notice what it's like to have hands and feet back on the ground. Press into the hands and the feet, firm up your foundation. Pull belly towards spine. On your next inhale, shift forward into plank, high push-up, knees up or down. And then as you exhale, lower all the way down to the mat. Untuck the toes, wrist under shoulders, outside the ribs. And then engage the belly towards the spine. Pull yourself up into cobra. The shoulders are trying to hike up towards the ears. Send them down the back. Keep pulling that belly towards the spine. Use your glutes, your butt muscles here to protect the low back. And back of the head back, side of the throat back. Take one more breath. And as you exhale, lower down. Press into the hands and return to down dog. If you've got that blanket beneath you, please switch it to the side. And then begin to walk your hands back towards your feet. You'll come into a forward fold at the back of your mat. Okay. So from this forward fold, inhale to halfway lift. Exhale, fold down. Inhale brings you all the way up, palms touch, and exhale, fold on down. Continue this pattern with your own breath, slowing it down, feeling out what you need to do today to sync up with your breath. Continue finding a soft release as you fold. Continue finding the support through the feet to really open up as you extend towards the sky. See how soft your movements can be. How delicate can you be here as you just allow yourself to be held by this simple pattern. Highly underrated. Use this time to truly feel how you're feeling. So much of yoga is held by the repetition. Sometimes we get lost in the repetition in a way where we assume we know what's coming next. And we stop listening to the instructions. So during this time, your body might know this pattern very well, or it might be the first time that you've taken this pattern. Just allow yourself to be held by the repetition, allowing your body to do what it needs here. Please take one more round. The next time you come to hands above your head, no rush. You can release hands through center. Close your eyes for a minute. Then shoulder blades down the back, low ribs, low belly back, back of the head back. Just notice what it's like to stand on the ground. On your next inhale, blink open your eyes. And we'll come to this wide-legged position. Toes will turn out. We're moving into goddess pose. The knees and toes need to be in the same direction to protect your knees. So you'll feel out how wide that is for you. From here, start to sit down, sending the tush and the tailbone up behind you. You don't want the tush tucking under, you want some low back curve. You can keep your hands on your thighs. This will make the pose more doable. Keep using this press of hands on thighs to widen the knees slightly towards the pinky side edge. You don't want knees knocking in. Pull low ribs, low belly back, maybe sit a little deeper, maybe not. Keep finding the slow, steady, deep breath here. If you'd like a little bit more, you can lift onto the ball with one foot, feel that out, drop it down. Lift onto the ball, the other foot, keep finding your breath, drop it down. Maybe you lift onto both balls of the feet at once. Can you still breathe here? If not, come on down. Let's take 2 more breaths wherever you are. And as you're ready, begin to come up, send the toes forward, and then hinge from the hips, come down into a forward fold. Your hips are dipping back behind you. Walk your hands out so that your hips are over your ankles. Release your head and your neck, shake it out, and soften your shoulders. We'll be here for 1 more breath. And as you're ready, you can walk your hands back, soften your knees, hands to hips, and roll back up. Okay, from here, we'll move into Warrior 2. So please turn your right toes out to the right. Right heel will line up with back arch. Bend into that right knee, walking that foot forward until you have a nice 90-degree angle. Widen that right knee slightly towards your pinky edge side of the foot. Ground down through the back foot, windmill your arms out, Warrior 2. Sink down in the pelvis. That might mean that you get to go a little bit longer in your stance. Even here, feel for sending the back of the head, sides of the throat, shoulders back. Sit back into yourself. And find your breath. On your next inhale, reach back with your left fingertips towards the back of the room. Bend back into that knee. And then come into reverse warrior. So this left hand is on the back left thigh. Keep bending into that bent knee. And then windmill yourself over. Top arm, right arm comes over behind you. Make sure you're not holding onto your knee. Be above or below it. On your next inhale, keep your feet and legs steady. Come back up. And on your next exhale, move into the reverse warrior. Keep using your breath. Maybe an inhale to come into Warrior 2 and an exhale back. Or maybe a full cycle of breath, an inhale and exhale for Warrior 2. Then an inhale and exhale to move back. Keeping the legs steady as we move between these 2 shapes. If you prefer to stay in the reverse or the Warrior 2, finding your breath there, please do so. Got a few more moments here. Keep that front knee bent. Don't lose the shape. And on your next inhale, return to warrior two. Bend that right elbow, bring it onto right thigh for side angle. Left arm can sweep over the ear, or it can just come to the sky. Feel for what feels most integrated to you. Use this elbow on the thigh to widen that knee slightly towards the pinky toe edge. Pull low ribs, low belly back. We'll be here for a few more breaths. How can you use the breath to settle in the shape? Take one more inhale and exhale. On your next inhale, return to warrior two. Straighten your legs and we'll move straight into the second side. So take your left toes, bend them out. You may need to adjust your stance. Bend into that left knee. Widen that left knee towards the pinky side edge. Straighten the back leg, the right leg, and ground down into that foot. As you feel ready, you can windmill the arms out. Warrior two. Sit down in the pelvis. Maybe that allows you to go a little bit longer in your stance. If shoulders are hiking up, send shoulder blades down the back. Low ribs, low belly back. Sides of the throat back and the head back. On your next inhale, take that right arm back for the right thigh. Swing that left arm overhead, coming into reverse warrior. On your next inhale, come back up. You guys know what to do now. Keep moving between these two shapes. Or find a resting pose in either reverse warrior or warrior two. Find how you can press down through the feet, keeping the lower body so stable. It allows you to open up with support in the upper body. The next time you come to warrior two, rebend into that knee, making sure it's still at a right angle. Take your left elbow to left thigh. Swing that top arm overhead or straight up, coming into side angle pose. Pull low ribs, low belly back, lean back into yourself. Steady through your feet. Inflate to your belly towards your spine. One more breath here. As you're ready, inhale back up to warrior two. Straighten that front leg. Turn towards that left leg. Frame out the front foot and return to down dog. From here, walk your hands and your feet together. Forward fold at the middle of your mat. Let your head and neck go. Let your shoulders melt down your back. And then come to a seat. We're coming to lie on our backs. So have soles of the feet planted down into the ground. Please pick up your knees and have your knees at a right angle here. Bring your palms to your thighs and then shift your low back so that it seals down into the mat. From here, we're going to press our hands into our thighs, thighs into our hands, keeping the low back sealed down. As soon as you do this, You should feel a strong activation in the belly. So breathe in and then exhale, hands into thighs, thighs into hands. Release, breathe in. Exhale, thighs into hands, hands into thighs. Not much is looking like it's happening, but you should feel everything in your belly. Inhale, release. Do 2 more with your own breath. Feeling for how much juice you can get in your belly, keeping that low back sealed down. When you've completed that, release the feet back down to the ground. Bring your palms down to the mat. And then on your next inhale, make sure that your hips are fairly close to your heels. So you can brush them with the back of your longest finger. As you inhale, press down into the feet, lift the hips, lift the hands for dynamic bridge. Exhale, you'll come back down. Keep the knees pointed straight up towards the ceiling. Your backs of the palms might touch the floor, might not. Keep the inner edges of the feet heavy. And then feel for every inhale taking you up, and every exhale bringing you back down. Take 2 more. Keep engaging the belly. And as you're ready, release. And we'll try one more set of abs. If you're not interested in this, you can start your supine pigeon, the figure 4, which is where we're going next. If you'd like to keep going with me, please lift your knees up to the mat, bring palms down to the mat, smush that low back down. As you inhale, straighten your right leg out in front of you, just so low as you can keep that low back down. Exhale, come back through center. Inhale, straighten the left leg, keep low back down. Exhale, back to center. Keep going with your own breath. Every inhale, straighten that leg. How low you take that leg doesn't really matter. It's more about keeping that low back sealed down, finding that engagement in the belly. Maybe do 1 more set. Or if you're toast, you can just bring the soles of the feet down to the ground, knock the knees in. As you're done, please take the soles of the feet down, take the feet to the outer edge of the mat, knock those knees in and bring 1 hand to the belly, 1 hand to the heart. Just let yourself soften into the mat. And catch your breath. As you're ready, bring the feet back to the midline, back to center. Reach the right leg to the sky. Hook that right ankle outside the left knee. Reach right arm through that triangle, left arm around the outer thigh to hug behind that left thigh. Pull the left knee in towards the chest as right knee moves away from you. Flex the right foot. Keep that foot active to protect the knee. Feel for shoulder blades softening down into the mat. Even here, engage the low belly to find that consolidation through the torso, strength through your spine. We'll take 2 more breaths. How heavy can your upper body be down into the mat? As you've completed that, you can release. We'll switch sides. So left leg lifts, left foot hooks outside the right knee. Left arm goes through the triangle, right arm goes around the thigh to meet. Pull that right knee in towards your chest. Send the left knee away. Flex those left toes back towards your face. And soften the shoulders down into the mat. How heavy can your upper body be? How slow can your breath be? As you're ready, slowly unwind. Take any final movements you need, or just release straight into Shavasana. You can take Shavasana lying on your back. You can take it seated, or you could even take legs up a wall if you have a wall nearby. Just find a position that will allow you to find stability and comfort. Find something that you can rest back into for support. As you settle back, you can allow your senses to recede, letting yourself release back into the support that you've built for yourself. Back into the darkness of Shavasana, final rest. slowly begin to deepen your breath. Invite yourself back into your body, back into the room. As you feel ready, you can roll off to one side and return to a comfortable seat, eyes closed or gaze soft. Please bring your hands palm to palm together in front of your heart, over your heart, or onto your thighs. Please bow your head towards your hands, towards your heart, in a gesture of reverence. May each of us not neglect that we hold the ultimate cycle within us, the cycle of the breath in and out. May we continue to return to the steady support that is always available to us at any moment that we might need. May each of us have a wonderful day. Peace.